Hi y'all, this is House Guest and I am your host, Kenzie Elizabeth. Think a Gen Z wannabe Martha Stewart meets Dolly Parton trying to live in a Nancy Meyers movie in her 20s. We talk all about life, relationships, navigating your 20s, closing at the bars, or waking up at 5 a.m. depending on our vibe that week. Ultimately, living our best lives and figuring it out along the way. So come hang out. Sometimes I have guests on who do really cool things, some of my best friends, or it's just me and my house that I spend way too much time in. So let's get into the show. Hi, y'all. Welcome back to House Guest Podcast. Welcoming my house guest to the show. Today, we have Carly Weinstein on the podcast. This is actually a podcast swap. We had her episode go up like months ago. I recorded a ton of episodes in New York when I was there this summer. So this episode is finally going up. We're talking about being single. Actually, she's literally not even single anymore. So this episode's actually quite beautiful of an episode. But we're talking about like being single, wanting a relationship, how it's okay, confidence, navigating your 20s. She's just such a great girl. She's one of those people who I actually have had like a lot of really comforting people on the podcast lately. She's very comforting. She's naturally just very maternal. Like you talk to her and you just feel better about life. And I talk about my experience when I met her. I think it's either on this episode or it's on the one that we recorded for hers. Definitely go check out her podcast and listen to hers. I'm sure you guys have seen her all over TikTok. She is like a queen. I love her so much. So anyways, without further ado, let's welcome Carly on to the show. I'm so happy that you're here. We actually just recorded an entire episode on Carly's podcast. So
we've been yapping.
The girls have been yapping. We're back together. We were yapping all the way over here. Mm-hmm. I just want to say, Carly, I was saying this on her podcast. Carly is like the most maternal person I know. I saved this actually just now. We were crossing the street. We were jaywalking, sue us. And even then, like you're the mom with like the arm out.
Stop.
Like, you know, when you're driving and you have to stop really quickly. Like,
I have to.
Sure, 100% the girl with the arm out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, and because you're visiting, I'm like, automatically now you're my visitor.
Yes.
And like, I have to like protect you.
Yes. I love when like someone takes the lead.
I have to. Like, I can't help it. People were just saying that this past weekend because we were going to a festival. And I'm like, okay, girls, tribe, everyone get together. Like, this is the time we're leaving.
Do you feel good when someone else takes the lead or do you always want to take the lead?
Oh, well, I mean, no, I like when sometimes I can like literally not do anything. But I think it only happens when I'm like with a guy. Like I'll let guys take the lead. But in my friendship relationships, typically, I feel like it just happens. Like it just comes up.
I'm the exact same way. Are you the girl who like executes the plans?
Yeah,
same.
Usually. Like pick the restaurant or like even if my friends are like
the trip.
Yeah. Oh my God, with the trip. Are you like that too with trips?
No, like my friends would never go on a single trip. My friends probably would not have seen outside of Dallas, Texas without me in their 20s.
That's
if it
me
weren't
too.
For their families. Like seriously, I think that they really have me to think.
Do you you're like doing the research for the trips and everything?
I am kidding, kind of. You know what? Actually, Danielle is the planner of our like YouTube OG group. So I do want to give credit where credit's due. But I love when she does that because I'm that for my friends and all. But yes, and it's less of research. It's more of like they will travel with me for like work stuff a lot. So like I already know where we're going. But I mean, for the most part, I'm the planner. But I do really like when someone else takes the lead.
I know. It's so nice.
It's so nice. It's like I genuinely feel like I had the day off.
Yeah. But I'm so anal and crazy about stuff. Like I'll be like, wait, but it's not like,
but I'm not gonna have the best time ever then.
Yeah. I'm not picky on certain things. Like, but it's like, I want everyone to be happy. Like I have to make sure like every single person has something to eat. Every single person likes the hotel. Like I'm just very like,
I agree.
I'm a control freak.
I'm like that. I don't need it to be like the bougiest experience ever by any means. I just need it to be like everyone feels good. And like, on a good.
Yes, 100%. Everyone just needs to be like happy and like having a good time and having fun. And then I'm happy. Yes. Then I can relax.
But I'm not controlling, but I think it's because I grew up with 8 siblings. Like,
yeah, that's true.
So like I'm like, everyone is on their own.
Yeah.
You know, like I hope like I did my job to the best of my ability, you know?
Yeah, that's funny because like when I was at camp even, like I was always like, I don't know, I feel like I took on the mom role. Like I was always doing everyone's hair, doing everyone's makeup, picking everyone's outfit. And I have a little sister. So we're 6 years apart. So I'm like the big sister in every aspect of my life, I feel like. I just assumed the role.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a lot that we need to talk about.
We do.
First, I do want to talk about being single in your 20s and dealing with loneliness. And I wanted to say this on the episode. That's what I was saving. Something happened and shifted in me, which we touched on in Carly's episode, that I just woke up one day and I was like, I'm ready to be married.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I want that. Like, I want to build a life with someone. I just, there was like a switch that went off in me. But I've never really, I think because I have really amazing friends and I've made like a really fun life for myself.
Yeah.
The only time I'm ever like, oh my God, I'm gonna be single and alone forever is like post breakup for a couple weeks maybe, and then I get over it and then like my life is so much more fun and I don't care anymore. But I definitely now am feeling a lot more lonely. Whereas like that's like another shift. Not only am I like, I'm ready and I want to be with someone, now because I feel that way, I am like, oh wow, I'm actually like really lonely and like I want someone, where I've never been that girl before. So I've never really been able to talk about it on the podcast because I've never really felt that way before.
I like am going through the same thing.
Okay, good. I'm glad that we're on the same page. I was thinking that we were.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling good about that.
Yeah. Like it's crazy. And I was telling you this before, like, I don't know what happened, but leading up to turning 27, and I know everyone's like, it's not a big deal. Like everyone's literally gaslighting me, being like, 27 isn't a big deal. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. Like I've never had a crisis like this before in my career, in my dating life, in everything, but especially in my dating life. Like it was the same thing. I kind of woke up like the months leading up to 27, but then really when it was like those few weeks or like that month leading up to turning 27, I have never had such anxiety. I was crying every day. I literally have videos on my phone. I don't cry. I have videos on my phone of me sitting on my couch under a blanket just sobbing. Like I was like, I need to like record this as proof that like one day I'm gonna look back and be like, it got better. But I don't know what's wrong with me or why. I think it is just like, there's a little bit of panic that sits in, I think. It's like our biological clock is kind of ticking.
That is what I hate in life the most. It is so unfair. A man can be 93 and get someone pregnant.
They don't feel that panic.
No, they don't feel the panic at all. No. And then we actually have to, like, I think about it. How often do you think about your future, like marriage and kids?
Like every day.
I think
that's
about
my Roman Empire.
Same. I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Even like with work stuff. Like I'm constantly thinking almost on like a preparation.
100%. I think that way too.
I think about it all the time. But like a man could just do whatever he wants. It's so annoying.
It's so messed up. Like he can, because at the end of the day, and this isn't always the case, but just typically in society, like the guy doesn't have to worry about maternity leave. Like we are the ones that have to prepare. Like I think about my career, and even when I talk to my friends, like when we think about our career, we think, okay, when can I get to the point, like I need to hustle right now because there's going to be a point in 5 years or whatever when I have to kind of not come to a complete halt, but like slow down so that I can like be not stressed and try to have kids and give my kids the best life. And like, I want to be able to multitask. I see a lot of amazing women that do it. But at the end of the day, it falls on us to take care of them and to like put the kids first, career second. Men don't have to think that way.
Yeah, which is like so annoying and so crazy.
Yeah.
And even if you have someone that is a 100% like 50-50 co-parent, you're the one that has to carry the baby. Like you're like it, regardless of how the chips may fall on co-parenting, you are the one that has to carry the baby. You don't have a choice. They'll
never understand. No. And there's some like truly like amazing like men out there too that like really assume the role. But at the end of the day, you just can't understand what it's like to like carry a child. Yeah. And I can't even grasp it. I can't grasp it. But I just, seeing even people our age and a little older become moms, it's like you start to really grasp like truly how much they're doing and how stressed out they are and how much time it takes and energy and how tired they are. And I'm like, I don't know. It just takes a lot. And I feel like it starts like we're kind of preparing ourselves now like mentally for all of that, which is like a weird and crazy thing.
Yeah, I even think about like, oh, if I were to make a move or if I were to do something, because I'm turning 27 soon. Yeah. By the time this goes up, I'll be 27, I think. Like, I don't know. It's just so annoying. But now, like, how often do you feel lonely?
Most of the time now.
Same.
And I never
felt that way before.
In my whole life. But I remember before having my first boyfriend, I was a senior in high school. It's like the person I like lost my virginity to. Like, he was my kind of like first everything. I remember feeling lonely for a period of time before him. And I was really yearning.
This could be a good sign.
Yeah, no, I think it is because it makes you be proactive. And like, that's what I've realized about it. It's like when you don't feel that loneliness or the longing for the relationship, you just simply aren't going to act on it. And I know everyone says like things fall into your lap because they do sometimes for some people. But I'm sorry, when you're dating, especially living in a city, it's just simply not that easy. Like, you do have to put yourself out there. It's even your energy, your aura, like the way you talk to people and present yourself to people. Like, you don't want to give off desperate, but if you want it and you have a positive outlook, like, I want this, my heart is open and I'm accepting of it, your aura, like, you give off the vibe, like, people can sense it. And so I think that's like what's going on with me. It's like this really big, and you said like transformational kind of like period. And I think that's what I'm really going through. It's like, for the first time, I'm like opening my heart again and being okay with feeling lonely, feeling my feelings, but then actually doing something about it and being proactive. That's the best thing I can ever do for myself when it comes to like my anxiety or like any issues I have. It's like, okay, I can feel sad and like sit in my thoughts, but then I need to like do something about it. Like, we need to like fix the problem. So now I feel like I've started to get back on the apps, really like actually ask my friends, like, do you have someone to set me up with? Reach out to people. I don't know. It's just
I'm about to send out a mass text.
No,
literally. I'm about to put about 22 of my friends in a group chat and say, who has someone to set me up with?
I fully like do it daily. My best friend Erica, like, this past weekend, she was like, wait, my boyfriend's like friend is going to this festival you're going to. I'm like, tell him to come find me. Like, I'm literally like down for whatever, as long as they're like cute and like are looking for a wife.
It's crazy because Carly and I were talking about this earlier, how the second that we felt our energy shifted, these things started coming. I'm not kidding. Someone reached out to me maybe 40, like it actually really an hour, if we're getting specific, after like I made the decision, and then all of a sudden like it's just crazy. Like your energy shifts and things start to happen. But I also wonder how much of that, like, I feel like we have something in us that is very intuitive and does. So I'm hoping that we just deep down just like know something is about to come. In that all of a sudden, it's almost like when a woman is like nesting because she's like,
we're nesting for our boyfriends.
Yeah, like I'm hoping that's what's happening. Like, I feel like there's like something deep down, but it feels so weird for me even now because besides the immediate time after a breakup, I really don't ever like want a boyfriend. I don't yearn for a relationship. I love being alone. And I do want to preface this by saying like none of my friends are, only a couple of my friends are dating. Like most of them are still single. So that definitely plays a huge role into it.
That's so nice.
That has helped me so much because I've never really been like I talk about navigating your 20s all the time. But when people ask like, how do you deal with like loneliness or, you know, everyone around you starting to date and you want someone, and I just haven't felt that way before. Like, I really haven't until recently. And I'm here to tell you, it is the worst feeling. It's been like a couple weeks. I'm over it. I'm completely over it.
I know.
It's the worst.
You know who's saved my life? I'm not kidding. My two best guy friends. And people like have a field day with this on the internet. Like, my two best guy friends have saved my life. They keep me busy 24/7. One of them like works in a job, like the hours are really weird. So I'm able to like get lunch with him during the day or just like shop or like do activities. Like, I get dinner with them. Like, they just make me crack up. We laugh. We don't talk about like, they don't make me like overthink like guy situations, but they'll like let me talk about it or vent about it. I don't know. I just think having like male figures in your life, even if it's like, I don't know, like everyone has like a gay best friend or whatever. Like, even if it's like something like that, it doesn't need to be like a straight male, but just having a male figure in your life, there's something about it that's just very comforting and like helpful for me. I agree. Know.
I have a lot of friends that I've like grown up with that are guys too, but even like my cousin, who I'm really close to and close in age, it's like there is something about it. I think it's just like the male energy.
It's the male energy. Like, I need it. I crave it. Like, it's like so weird, but I guess because especially being in our industry, we're just surrounded by so many women all the time. And I'm a girl's girl at heart. Like, I love women, but sometimes it's just like, I can't explain it. It's just a comfort thing. And it's so lighthearted. And like, I just love to laugh. And I think it's just and just the loneliness too. Like, they'll sit on my couch with me and like just make me crack up, and we'll just like eat and like do nothing. And it's just, that replaces, like, when I feel lonely, that replaces that feeling. They don't allow me to feel lonely.
What are other things you do, like, if they're not available when you're feeling lonely? Like, is there something that you tell yourself? Is there something that you think about? Something that you do?
I honestly, like, I'm so grateful that I live in the city because you can do things 24/7 if you want to. And I've just been so busy that I feel like I haven't had time. But also, like, I'm always just, like, swiping on Hinge, like, even if it's just, like, for funsies. Like, I feel like it's again like that feeling of being proactive about something. And also just like knowing that like my time's gonna come and like it's gonna be okay. Like truly. You have to know it in your heart. And I know it like it's hard to feel that way all the time. But I know that I'll like find my person. Like I just have a comfort in knowing and sitting in it. Just like I feel like as human beings and as people that like we're constantly trying to escape. Everyone drinks to escape, smokes to escape. Like there's so much of like trying to escape. Why can't we just sit in our feelings and like let ourselves be sad? So like when I'm home alone, if I want to be sad and like watch a rom-com and like feel like, oh my God, like I want that, or like I'm gonna like, I don't have that right now, but I'm gonna have that. I let myself feel it. It makes you feel better after when you just like sit in it. And then you can move forward and move on and it's not weighing on you as much. But I think it's so healthy to be able to know that I'm not at my peak feeling of like happiness and like fulfillment all the time. You know, you're not going to be.
When I'm in a healthy mindset, which isn't all the time and hasn't been like the amount of times I've been calling Dom and texting. I mean, she probably is like about to block me, honestly, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so miserable, like whatever. But I try to think from like, okay, let's say from a different point in my life. I try to think about myself at 40 in a very healthy, happy marriage with kids, living my life the way that I want to, and then think about what I would tell my 27-year-old self. Like, it's gonna happen anyways. Like, you stressing and being like emotional or miserable about this, it's not gonna make any difference anyways. Like, you might as well just like live your life, which I feel like I've been able to do. And now all of a sudden, I'm just like it's definitely bothering me more. I've definitely like actually really felt it.
Yeah.
But if I'm in a healthier mindset for that day or just a healthier space, I can think like, okay, it's gonna happen anyways. So like, why would I stress about something that's like inevitably gonna happen?
Yeah.
But again, it's something that we were touching on Carly's podcast is like, I have a hard time believing that like good things will happen to me in regards to like my romantic relationships. I believe it in career stuff. I believe it in certain aspects of my life that I've seen it happen. But something about like believing I literally cannot comprehend that one day I will be like really madly in love and we'll be getting married and I'll be so happy and like so excited. I can't even picture it. Like I don't know if it's because I like have been single for so long and I've really like taken a step back and I haven't had like real legitimate feelings for someone in so long. I don't know what it is. It's probably a combination of all of it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been it's like I have to like fight almost to like believe that something good will happen, if that makes any sense.
But it's only in your love life. Like it's not anywhere else. I wonder if it's like, because I have so many friends that have divorced parents that like feel that way.
Okay.
And it's an underlying feeling.
I would have always thought it was my divorced parents. And I also would have thought that it has to definitely like do with it.
Yeah.
But weirdly, I think it has to do with other stuff more than even my divorced parents. Because I talk about this with my therapist all the time. And I'm like, I would think, especially my parents' divorce was really messy. Like, you would think that it would make me like not even want to get married.
Yeah.
And it never did that. It made me like excited to have a healthy marriage.
Oh, right.
I think it's just that like I've had like quite a bit of tragedy in my life happen. So I just expect the worst things to happen to me. And like to me, also one of the worst things would be like to not like, I want a family. Like the biggest thing I want in life is like a healthy family.
Me too.
So I feel like it's really just, it's more connected to like the tragedies that I've had and less with my parents' divorce, but that definitely obviously has to play to it.
For sure. And it's scary too. Like, I think even just the idea of you don't have this person in your life right now, you haven't met this person potentially, and then it's like this person comes into your life and then they're like supposedly like never gonna leave your life and then they become your family. And it's just like a really scary and also really hard thing to comprehend. Like when I think about it, I know I'm gonna have that person, but isn't it so weird when you just sit there and think about the fact that like the person that like you're gonna have children with and like spend the rest of you don't even know them yet. Like we don't know them. And like that's gonna be like our best friend and our person in our family, but we don't know them. Like it's such a weird thing to conceptualize.
In the defining decade, there was some crazy stat about how most people have actually met their spouse by the time they're 25. Isn't that insane? I'm like, that just can't be right. Maybe it's not right at all in cities. But then I think about some of my friends who got married even in their early 30s, and they knew that person at 25.
I know people that graduated college and either ended up being in serious relationships or engaged to someone that they had met like throughout college, like through a mutual friend, or are now engaged to a person that they literally went to high school with, but never knew.
Yeah.
But like I hear so many stories about people that went to college together or went to high school together, but they never knew each other, but they like ran in the same circles. They like invisible string. Yeah. Like it's so real. Like I have so many friends that the invisible string theory is like so real.
It's crazy because if they would have met each other or dated at that point, maybe it wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah, it would have thrown off the whole simulation.
Yeah, it all would have been game over.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
If someone's listening to this and they don't have like, maybe they're really lonely, even in the sense of like, they're in a new city and they don't even have friends. Like what advice would you give them? Maybe to not even feeling like lonely in as far as like romantic relationships go, just lonely period.
In life.
Your 20s can be so isolating.
Especially early.
Yeah, especially when you're in a new city. Like that's so hard.
It is. I mean, honestly, when I moved here, I think like the advice I always give to someone moving to a new city, but also just in a new phase of life is like just have one safety person. Like you always are gonna have your people from like other cities or from home or your family, but like you just need one person to like start you off. Like even if you meet someone through online, like then they introduce you to their friends and then their friends introduce you to their friends. Like a lot of the time when you move somewhere, everyone's in the same boat. Like you're all trying to make new friends. So the best thing you can do is have an open mind, and just that one safety person will end up leading you to like all the right places. Even like at your job, like it just organically happens when you're kind to everyone and when your mind is open to it. And also learning to be your own best friend. I like just talked about this on my TikTok. Like learning to be your own best friend is the most important thing, especially when you're somewhere new. You need to pick up new hobbies. You need to be able to find things that make you happy and feel fulfilled, like in your downtime, outside of things that feel like work or that are work. But the combination of those two things, like having a safety person and also having some like safety activities or activities that make you feel excited about life, I think those are like the two most core things.
And like the first person you meet isn't necessarily going to be your best friend.
No.
But they might introduce you 3 people down the line to your best friend. And that's not to say people are transactional. It's more so just that is how you meet people, is through other people.
I actually have a really crazy story about how I met one of my best friends, Rachel. So my best friend, Amanda, was dating this guy like years ago when they're no longer together, when we first moved to the city. And I went out on dates with his roommate. And one day, me and like the roommate went on, he was like, can you come with me to like this work dinner? I like have to go to this work dinner with like a client. So I go with him to the work dinner, and it's just like this girl and this guy, and they were like the client. They like worked at a bank. And immediately the girl and I connected. We were like, I'm obsessed with you. I was like, she's gorgeous. She's perfect. Like we have so much in common. I'm obsessed with her. Me and this guy stopped talking, stopped seeing each other. My friend and the boyfriend broke up, and the girl, Rachel, became my best friend, and we've been best friends for years. Like she is literally my best friend, and she's become best friends with all of my best friends, and I've become best friends with hers.
So you guys were on a date, basically.
We were literally like the guys were laughing the whole time and like cheersing because it was just like me and Rachel literally on a date. But it's like the craziest, such a New York story, but it's about really like if we weren't open-minded and just
putting ourselves out
there and wanting friends, like we both just like genuinely, and not even that, it's not like we were seeking out new friends. It just like happened organically because we just were in the right place at the right time. But yeah, it's weird how you can like meet people, and I'm so grateful for my best friend's ex-boyfriend because otherwise I would never have met my best friend. So it's a really crazy how like things work out. But
I like what you said too about the hobbies. And I think you really, and I'm saying this to myself because I'm in a week where I'm like, God, I'm traveling by myself all the time. I'm doing everything for myself. I'm so sick of doing everything for myself.
Yeah.
So I'm currently feeling very lonely. But I think you also meet the right people, whether it be a significant other or your friends, by creating the right life for yourself, because you're going to attract them in because they have similar interests or they're doing the same thing. I also hear from people to like go do the same thing at the same time every day. I know a lot of people who have done that. Like they go to the same workout class, they go to the gym at the same time, because over time, after like repetition, you end up getting to know those people. And again, I think you really just need your foot in the door with one person, because that one person, you don't know where it's going to lead you to. Another thing too that I'm really trying to live by is like, your life could change in an hour. Like you never know what day it will be that you meet your new best friend that you'll have for the next 40 years, the person that is going to end up giving you the promotion, your significant other. Like so much can happen in just an hour.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Like, think about even with my friend. Like, I literally had no idea. I thought I was going on a random date. Like, I was like, I don't really like this guy. Like, I'm just meeting these random people and it's whatever. I didn't know that day that like that person is literally, she will be my bridesmaid one day. Like, I would have never known. Like,
so beautiful.
It's crazy. But yeah.
That's what I'm wanting. I'm wanting like my whole entire life to change. And I want, that's the period I'm in.
It's a hard expectation though. And I think it's really hard. I can't decide if it's like a healthy mindset to live by
it's
or
probably not. Yeah, it's probably not healthy.
You're like, no, but I think it's if you're going through a period of time where you're feeling really sad and down on yourself, it actually creates a lot of hope. And some people really need that. Like for me, I tend to like get overexcited about like dates. And like I was telling you before, I will like see a guy, like I'll literally see a guy on Instagram and be like, oh, that's like my husband.
Yeah, like he doesn't. Game over.
I literally became obsessed with this guy. This is really embarrassing, high key. He has a girlfriend now and I'm so happy for them. But I became so obsessed with my friend's coworker. I was convinced like he was my husband. Like I was like, no, you don't understand. We are getting married. I mean, maybe still, honestly. Like who knows what'll happen in a few years.
Maybe they'll
break up. I don't know. But I literally, like this is what I do. Like I'm psychotic and I'm very like manifesting. So if I say it, like I'm putting it into existence. So it's a little bit of a dangerous thing for me to like be like, it can change in an hour. Cause I will literally meet a guy on the street and be like, that's my husband.
Yeah, I'd be like, it's actually.
Yeah, like it's bad because I'm that type of person.
Here's my thing too with the whole, like it'll happen when you least expect it. And then also the side of like manifesting it or like praying for it.
Yeah.
Or it's like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Cause then it's like, well, I will have this weird mind game with myself.
I know.
If I'm thinking about it too much or if I want it too much, maybe that's not good and I won't get it. But the second that I truly don't want it anymore, then I will. But it's like, but if I don't want it, I'm not open. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Also, people keep telling me it'll happen when I least expect it. But truly, all I care about right now is finding a husband. So how the hell am I supposed? I'm like, stop expecting it. Like, I'm like telling myself, but how am I supposed to do that? Like, there's just no way.
And it's like, I don't know. I know so many couples. Like, I think about this all the time where it's like, well, maybe I'm just not ready for it. Or maybe I'm not, or maybe I need to do X, Y, and Z. Then I think about so many other couples and it's like they met so early on. They had no money. They had no way to support themselves. They had and it worked out for them. Like, why? I don't know, the whole like overthinking of, you know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
It's truly so annoying.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I hate it.
I know. And it's like, but I don't know. I think both of us are in the right mindset right now, but it's hard because I'm a little woo-woo. Like I believe in the universe and divine timing. And I also believe that when I want something too bad, I will not get it. Like I think that when you push the universe like too hard, I know this sounds like I sound crazy, but when you push too hard for something, the universe pushes back and tells you to like calm the F down.
Because you don't want it to become like what your life revolves around.
Yeah, and it's actually not attracting it for some reason. It's doing quite the opposite. It's almost like you have to want something but have the utmost confidence that it's going to come to you. It's like you don't want to give desperate almost. Yeah. And not even for other people, for yourself, for your own life. Like it's hard. It's a hard challenge, but it's like you don't want it too bad. You want it to put it out there and then to just stop and just trust.
Like surrender it.
Yeah. I
wonder what the perfect balance is, like how to master the art of like wanting something but not too much.
I think it's about distraction, to be honest. And that's something that I've really done and we'll let you guys know with the results. But like I think my thing is like really surrounding myself with a lot of like single friends, honestly. Like I have my relationship friends, like I love them too. But when I'm with my single friends and going out and learning to like kind of just be in it with the girls, like I just want to go out and like enjoy myself, go to dinners, do fun activities, like I don't know, like just discover new places, like do things just for the sake of having fun and enjoying. And it distracts me from the fact that like I want this thing really bad. I know in the back of my mind I want it. I'm manifesting it by just wanting it, just knowing in my heart that it's something that I want. Like I feel like that in itself is just actively manifesting. But then it's like taking it and trying to put it away, put it in your back pocket and doing life, living life to the fullest. You can't stop living your life just because you want something so bad. So I've just focused recently, especially this summer. I feel like this is really like a big turning point for me also. Yes, I want this, but let's just put it on pause for a minute and forget about it. And like, I am never going to be 27 again. I'm never going to be in this place in my career again. I'm never going to be free, single, living in New York City, and then like living in the Hamptons this summer. Like I have so much amazing like life to look forward to and to live. So it's like, let's put that to the side and just live and be open and be happy. And I don't know. That's kind of the mindset that I'm going in with right now.
I love that.
Yeah.
See, these are all things that I will like tell myself when I'm saying I'm in a healthy mindset,
Yeah.
but it's just so crazy how like your 20s are just so insane because one day you can feel so amazing and so confident in yourself and that something's coming and that good things are happening. And then the next, like you're on the floor crying, you know? And that's really your 20s.
Yeah, that's like the definition of I think 20s are so hard because it's the most like contrast you'll ever have in your life.
Everything's uncertain.
There's people that are out of college, uncertain what they're going to do. There's people that are getting married and have babies. Like you can literally wake up one day and feel on top of the world with your job. You can feel like I just did something amazing in my career. This guy really likes me and I really like him back. And then the next day you can feel like I'm a failure. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my life or my career. And no one likes me and I feel ugly and I feel like I'm never going to find anyone. Like the contrast in just everything in your 20s is insane. It's very like unstable.
Do you think that we're in our, well, are we in our late 20s?
I like have been thinking about this. I think I fear we are, but also like can 27 just not count for anything? Like is 28, like 29?
29 is lit, but I was just gonna say, are we in our late 20s crisis? Is that what this is?
I don't know, but 25, 26.
I feel like 25 to 27 is mid. That's how I feel.
Okay.
At least in my spirit.
Okay, no, I like that.
You know?
I think maybe everyone's different and maybe everyone else feels like a 27 thing, but maybe everyone else has a certain age where it hits them. Because like it never hit, 26, it was a little scary, but I don't know. Like for some reason, just 27 hit me like a bus.
I'm so excited for my 30s though. Like
yeah,
I know I will thrive in my 30s. My 20s, let me tell you something. They were not my decade.
They really?
Oh my God, no. Like I had so much horrible stuff happen, but also like it just wasn't my time to shine.
Yeah.
Like my 30s, oh my God, they're gonna be so much better. I'm really looking forward to that, but I want a couple things figured out before I turn 30, which is the stress. But again, then I remind myself, which is where I normally live, is that it's all gonna happen anyway, so why would I stress about it?
Yeah.
But it's hard because I think I'm just having a hard time believing that it will. I think that really is like the root of everything.
Yeah.
But then it just comes down to like self-talk. So I have to
It does come down to self-talk because you're not trusting yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not trusting, it's really hard too. Like the way you described, like, well, I've had these tragic things happen to me. You stop trusting in the universe because you're like, what the hell? Like,
I know.
What the hell?
Because it's like what you see like repetitively. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just think I'm ready to like see something good happen.
Yeah.
So then I can, you know?
Yeah. It's scary. And it's also hard when it's like, I can't sit here and set like, you know, like I can't
give an answer.
I can't give an answer, but I think positivity always helps. It's not, it doesn't help to be like toxic, like to the point where it's like we're ignoring our feelings or ignoring reality. But I think like, what do we have if we don't have hope? Like literally we have nothing. Like you could either go through life and feel like nothing ever works out for me and I'm just effed, or you can be like, you know what? Like things are going to turn around for me. I know it's so hard. It's so hard to tell yourself that. It's so hard. But I think even lying to yourself sometimes and just being like, everything is going to work out for me. Everything is going to work out for me. Like just repeating it in your brain. I think like thoughts become things.
Agreed.
And sometimes you just like, I do this with my like body image. I'm like, you're beautiful, you're fit, you're all of these things. And I don't feel that way all the time, but you become it because you feel it and you say it.
Yeah, and I think it's like growing your confidence too as you're doing that. But I have friends too that I will text like every day and I'm like, God, I just can't wait. Like something great is on its way, you know?
Yeah.
And I like the more I do that, I definitely do feel better. But there's some days where you just crash and burn.
Totally.
And it's unavoidable, unfortunately.
Totally.
As much as I would like literally love to avoid it more than anything probably on this earth. I also think like that's something that I've been talking to Dom about is I'm like, I feel weird that I even feel this way because I don't normally feel this way, and I'm normally the friend who's like, it's gonna be fine, like it's gonna work out, like you're fine.
But those friends that say it's gonna be fine, it's all gonna work out, are always the ones that we still need a therapist.
Yeah,
therapists still need therapists.
Yes.
The therapist friend still needs the therapy, you know? Like, it's
definitely.
the truth. We all are uncertain too. We're all doing this for the first time. Like, it's very uncertain.
Something that Dawn keeps saying to me too, because I'm so new to like actually wanting to be with someone, is that she's like, it's so normal to like want a relationship. It's not a bad thing to want a relationship.
It's
like,
true.
She's like, you don't need to like overthink your way out of this one.
Right, or like why you want it.
Yeah, she's like, it's a very normal, natural thing to want to be with someone.
Yeah.
Like, that is okay to do. But I think just because I haven't before, I don't know, I was just so close. But honestly, I was just having so much fun. Like,
that's fine. And I think you can do both too. Like, you can literally have fun and thrive while in the back of your mind still knowing that like there's more out there for you than just having fun and like whatever. Also, something I want you to try is not saying it out loud to your friends, but instead just saying it to yourself in your head.
I do that first.
Instead,
actually.
like
I
instead
of
being like,
externally, I need to do it more internally.
Because when I externally say things, it like, again, I sound crazy, but it almost jinxes it. And I don't believe in jinxing, but it's like when you put it out there that it's not going to happen anymore. Like, you know, the old thing of like, when you tell your friends about a guy, it doesn't work out. Yeah. It's almost like the same thing. Like I try the things that I don't speak of, but I just think of are the things that always like come into fruition for me.
I also
really
think
weird.
It's kind of helpful because you're not like marinating on it. With people. Like that's why even when I was saying how I am like in dating, how I'm like pretty like private about it at the beginning, it's because I don't want to like make something that it isn't.
Right.
In a good or a bad way.
Because as girls, we always overthink everything too.
Yeah.
Where guys, like we're like picking apart a text message and they literally there's nothing in there.
No, like their brain.
Nothing in.
Nothing.
They just do. They don't think about consequences. And we're the ones sitting there picking it apart.
Like spiraling.
So it's like, I've learned to also like with that, it's like, don't tell your friends because you will know, or if you're unsure about something, then it's not the right thing.
Totally.
Like when you have to sit there and pick texts apart, okay, he's not your person.
Yeah, it's over.
He's not your guy.
If you're making a notes app, like pros and cons list, it's over.
Literally me like last week.
Literally, I'm like,
writing out. Yeah. Just call it off.
Like the second that you pull out your notes app about a boy.
Yeah, like anything.
Just call it.
Call it. It's done. Oh my God, it's so true. Unless you're literally making a list to tell them of the things that you love about them.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you're taking out your notes app to rehearse something, to pros and cons something, it's not working.
No, unless you're literally writing to yourself in your diary about how much you love them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which we were like, that never happened.
And I've never done that before.
Yeah, no, never. Maybe one day.
What do you feel like is the biggest difference between your early 20s and our later 20s?
Okay, I think my early 20s, it's weird. I actually think they're weirdly similar.
I feel similar too, because I had a quarter life crisis at 23 and I'm kind of feeling that way now almost at 27.
Something has come full circle.
Yes.
Because early 20s, I had nothing figured out. Then I got it together for a bit. Like I wasn't an influencer yet. I was starting my own business, doing like social media management, web design, branding, whatever. And so I was like I was trying to get my business together.
Getting your foot in the door.
I was unsure like where I would turn out, if I was going to make money, what was going to happen. So I felt like I was figuring that out, figuring out friends, my groove of living in the city. And then I got my groove for like 24, 25, 26. And then all of a sudden like 26, 27 crept up. And again, I'm in this other phase of like, okay, your career, now what? You got to pivot. You got to do something better. You got to do something more with like dating. I'm like, okay, you need to like find your person. Like I'm having this same transitional feeling again, but even stronger now. Or maybe I just didn't remember how strong it felt before, but they are weirdly similar.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
I went through a quarter life crisis like you've never seen before. You would have thought that my life was ending. I mean, my God. And I wouldn't shut up about it either. Like this whole podcast has heard all about it.
No,
right?
mine too. My girlies have heard all about mine too.
It's like, oh my God, crazy. And it was when I was 23, my 23rd year. Okay. 24 hit. And I decided, who cares? I don't need to have this figured out. And I had so much fun. I was going out. I was with my friends. We were traveling, doing girl trips all the time. 25 was great. 26, I felt really good at the beginning of 26 because I felt like I'd really like come into my own and figure things out. And I felt very stable.
Yeah.
I felt very good. And then all of a sudden, as I'm about to turn 27, I think my quarter life crisis was a lot worse, like the one at 23 than like this one, if I'm being honest. But just as far as I felt like everything was up in the air when I was 23, and I don't feel like everything is as up in the air. I definitely feel the pressures of career stuff as well, but now it's mainly more so like future in my personal life.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I feel very similar. Like there's so many like common themes, and I feel like everything's up in the air again.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I just feel I don't know. It's hit me. The career and the love life have both kind of hit me at once, where I'm like, all right, what are we doing here? Like it's weird. I feel so like blessed in like my relationships with like my friends and the people that I'm surrounded by. Like I feel really at peace more than ever. But it's just kind of those outside things that are like, okay, what are we doing?
So things you can't fully control.
Yeah. And it's bad because we're both like, we need to control.
I need to have this figured out.
Yeah.
Like, I've got it covered.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you feel about this, but if I'm having an issue in any sort of relationship, I would almost always rather it be an issue that was caused on my end, because then I'm able to fix it.
Yeah.
But like if it's on their end, you have a lot less control. So I like to be able to like take ownership and fix it however, whatever needs to be done. Obviously, most things are not, 100% on either side. But I like that. Like it's
me too.
And I feel like that really says a lot, because it's like, okay, it comes back to a control thing.
Yeah.
And I want to control my feelings. Like this is what I hate about dating, actually. I hate dating, period. Two, I hate the aspect of it I hate the most is that someone else can control my emotions. Like completely. I hate that someone can affect my emotions, because I built this really nice bubble that I live in that up until recently I never wanted to leave. And I felt very safe. I felt very good. I was very emotionally stable. Yeah. And like dating, obviously there's like highs. It brings up a lot.
Yeah. I recently I was telling you about like this situation with a guy that I don't talk about really like my dating stuff like online. But what I will say is that like I don't let anyone in really. And I kind of started to let this person in and I got hurt. And it was like the first time where I like felt that in a long time. And it's like you simply like have to put yourself at risk of getting hurt in order to like make progress and like be open to stuff. But it's so hard for me to do because it is a control thing. And I like very much have always had a wall up when it's come to like dating and stuff. Ever since like my first boyfriend, like we broke up. And even before then, like I'm not a dater. Like my sister is like, she's had like many boyfriends and she's opened herself up a lot and she's gotten hurt, but she like has had beautiful like relationships and whatever. And with me, I'm just not like that and I'm not used to it. And I think that when I get hurt, my whole life is thrown off and I become insane. Yeah. And I don't want to become insane because I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, things are good right now. Let's not throw off the vibes. Like, let's not make me like mentally ill.
Yeah, like I want to be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
One of my best friends is like a serial dater. She's so good at it. She loves doing it. She's having so much fun. Yeah. And I asked her, she's older than me, but I asked her recently, I'm like, how do you bounce back so easily from these things? Like I could never, like I'm like not okay. She's like, honestly, I've just seen it happen so many times. Like I've had so much practice when it comes to breakups that I just know something better is coming and I trust it because I've seen it so many times. But yeah, I'm the same way. But something that I'm like trying to work on is that like, I don't want to make any decision based off fear. So if I'm just not putting myself out there because I'm afraid to get hurt, I don't want to do it. If I'm not wanting to date someone because I don't like them, that's fine. I'm trying to just not make a single decision based off fear, which is a lot easier said than done.
But I think both of us, like a lot of my friends and a lot of people in my life constantly criticize me for the way that I don't like a lot of people. But I think it all comes back to what it says about our intuition. I truly in my heart, like I know I'm right when it comes to this stuff. Like I just know if you're my person, if you're not. Like I can tell. I can tell when, because I've gone on a million dates with people and tried it out when I thought, I don't think I would like them, but like I'm going to give them a chance and then I'm going to give them another chance. And I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work. And I'm not going to force it any further. Like I just think I have a really good, like I just know. Like I just know if I'm going to vibe with someone or feel comfortable with someone or if like there's chemistry or not. So I don't know what my point was with that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think like for some people, obviously everyone's so different that certain things work for other people. But I am the same way and I felt weird at times where people are like friends are making comments about how I'm like not dating as much or not good, which I could do more of. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But nothing gives me more anxiety than being with the wrong person.
Me too.
So like I can't even just like have a random fling.
Me too.
Because it's not fun to me. I'm like, this is gonna end. Why am I with you? I could be my friend.
Right. And I've always been that way too, like my whole life. Like I have always kind of dated to marry, and I never will be with someone that I couldn't see a future with. What's the point? I'm just gonna get hurt then. And I don't know. I feel like I'm so like on the other, like people always are saying like the opposite of what I'm saying. But I just think I have a different like dating style, and there's no wrong answer. It's just like what works for you. Because at the end of the day, like the person that I meet will be a match for me. So they're gonna have a similar dating style to me, or like it's just gonna line up the right way. I don't know. So I'm not about, there's certain things that I've changed. I've put myself out there more and I'm more open. But if I'm gonna be picky and trust my intuition and know that like I know I deserve the best and I expect the best, then I think that's okay.
A lot of it too is not lowering your standards.
Yeah.
Which is so easy to do. I mean, hello, I've done it a billion times. Yep. Like it's so easy. But once you build a life that you really like yourself, it makes it a lot harder because you don't want to give that up.
Yeah.
So like once you're happy being single and on your own, it's actually really risky because then you get comfortable and then you just stop putting an effort out.
It's true.
And, that's where I've been. Now I'm like, changing things and stuff. But it definitely, it's risky.
Yeah. But I also think it's really healthy to go through phases because that's just part of life. Like there's always going to be ebbs and flows in everything in life. And if you're in kind of like a season of like not actively pursuing dating and like not doing that and just like whatever your focus is, just being at peace with yourself, like that's okay. Like I've had many seasons like that. And then there's times where I'm like, okay, let's ramp it up. I'm in the mood. I feel the feeling like just something's motivating me. Then go after that. I think it's just like, it's not normal to like expect yourself to be dating all year round, all the time. Like you have to take breaks and people don't talk about that, but it's okay to like take a month off if you've been like trying a lot to like date. Take a month off, chill for a minute. Let life happen. And then go back into it. Go on a couple of dates. Text a friend. See if they have anyone for you. Like, I don't know. There's no point of exhausting yourself. It's supposed to be fun. Like finding your life partner is not supposed to be a chore. It's not supposed to be something that you have to do. It's something that like enhances your life and will make it better. But it's not, this shouldn't be, like if it's feeling like a job and like work, then stop doing it.
Yeah. I feel like the goal here is to find a peace and a confidence in yourself and like whatever you believe to be like some sort of like higher power, whether it's the universe or God or it could literally be anything for you. Having some sort of like peace and confidence that is just going to work out. Like as much as like we're sitting here and I'm like, oh my God. And it's very real. Like I really do feel this way today. Like I'm not in the healthiest headspace with it. But at the end of the day, like I said before, just think about yourself when you're 40 and you're living the life that you want to and you're with the right partner and it's all worked out. Like I'm speaking to myself. Like you worrying and stressing and being miserable now isn't going to change the outcome. You might as well live your life to the fullest. Yeah. And then I also believe that like when you're living your life to the fullest is probably when you meet someone because it's in that setting or that is what's attracting that person.
Exactly. I think that like both of us are in like that mindset that when both of us do find boyfriends, we should go on a double date. Yes. I'm putting it out there now. Yeah.
We'll get 2 more downloads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, after today, I'm glad that we had this afternoon together because I will just be sitting here thinking positively, good things are coming into my life.
Yes.
And it's going to happen and watch like 3 months from now. You never know.
You never know.
I'm trying to Serena Kerrigan my life. Like maybe I should start going on people's podcasts.
This is our Serena Kerrigan moment, maybe.
Yes.
Like we're saying right now that like we're going to find our guys. I think we might find our guys like around the same time. I like have this I actually have this weird feeling.
Like maybe I'm going to fall in love tonight. I mean, honestly, who knows?
Like I can't expect myself to fall in love this summer because I'm gonna be in the Hamptons living my best life. But I do feel that we may find our men at the same time. I have a weird feeling.
I'm looking for 2024.
Yeah.
As soon as possible.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, agreed. Agree. Tonight would be great, honestly.
Tonight would actually be tonight's good for me. I'm in the studio at 7:30, so like it sounds like a good plan to me, you know?
Yeah, like tomorrow would be great. Honestly, any day.
This week specifically,
I'm something over this something's happening in the universe this week.
Yes. I'm just gonna live from like a more positive perspective. Good things are happening. Everyone repeat with me. Good things are happening and good things are coming.
Also, set your phone background. Like I have my phone background as I don't know if you guys can see that or watching the video version, but my phone background has like photos of like relationship stuff and also like little quotes on my phone about like
vision board.
Yeah, like vision board. And like even if you just put like a giant affirmation as your background, it's subconsciously repeating in your brain. I think it's like a really like good thing to, I don't know.
I need to do that. I'm literally gonna leave and make one.
Do it. It's you.
I'm like, Kenzie, you're falling in love today.
Yeah, no, it's like like literally like I am attracting love into my life. I believe I am worthy of love. Like even just I am worthy of love.
Mm-hmm.
I am worthy of all of the amazing things that are coming my way. Just things like that. Like I even have one in my apartment, like on my, I don't know if you saw on my like in front of my TV, because I'm like always in there watching TV or sitting on the couch. So I have my little like manifestation card and I change it out based off like what I am trying to manifest or feel. Because you're just subconsciously consuming it every day.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, this is our Serena Kerrigan moment.
It is. It really is.
It is.
I love it for us.
I love it. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on. This is a great episode.
Thank you so much for having me.
Where can they find you?
You can find me at Carly_Weinstein on Instagram, Carly Weinstein1 on TikTok, and my podcast, Real with Carly Weinstein, on all platforms.
Yay, so fun.
Thank you.